Hello and welcome to Effortless Tax Prep and Workflow. Say goodbye to client frustrations. This webcast is brought to you by CPA Practice Advisor and SafeSend. I'm Gail Perry, Editor-in-Chief of CPA Practice Advisor, and I am your moderator today. Before we get started, I'd like to explain how CPE for this webcast works. The webcast qualifies for 1 credit of continuing professional education. If you plan to earn CPE for attending this session, you must stay with us for at least 50 minutes. In addition, we'll display 4 polling questions during the webcast. You will need to record an answer for at least 3 of the questions, as this is our verification that you are still watching the webcast. You will receive an email by the end of the day today that contains a link to your CPE certificate, assuming that you met the requirements for CPE. Please note that we can give CPE credit for multiple people watching on the same computer. So if there are others in your office who would like to attend this event, please have them join you now. And at the end of the event, we'll provide an opportunity for you to send us their email addresses. At any time, you can enter questions in the Ask a Question box provided on your screen, and our speaker will try to get to as many questions as possible during the presentation. Questions not answered during the broadcast will be addressed by the speaker afterwards via email. The slides for today's presentation are available for download. You can click in the bottom left corner of your screen where it says Event Resources and download the PDF of the slide presentation. Today, we're joined by Joe Robluski, Senior Product Enthusiast at SafeSend, which might be the coolest job title ever. And now we're ready to begin, Joe.
All right, thank you very much, and welcome everybody. What we'll be covering today, as Gail mentioned, was kind of getting rid of client frustration. And the agenda for today, it's over, is going to be the following. It should be on your screen right now. We're going to go through just a quick introduction to myself and SafeSend. And then we'll jump right into understanding client frustration. What's causing it? Why is it there? How can we navigate through those, through the changes in technology to kind of alleviate some of it, if not all of it? What client expectation, what clients expect in this digital age, the impact of automating tax processes, streamlining the tax return process as a whole. We'll go through a little bit of a demonstration of kind of what we have to offer at SafeSend to help with all of that. And Q&A, provided we have some time. If you have questions as we're going through, we have Cam here from SafeSend as well, who will answer questions about our product and any questions you have or about anything that I'm going over. And if we don't get to your question, we'll find a way to get an answer for you at some point. Now, we're going to go ahead and just jump right into the first polling question here. We'll get that started off right away.
Okay, our first question is, we'd like to know a little bit about who our audience is today. So your options are tax, audit, bookkeeping, other, or all of the above. And throughout the day, we're going to have, or throughout the webinar, we're going to have 4 polling questions. If you have any trouble answering the question online, like if the pop-up doesn't appear or something, you can just post your answer in the Q&A in the Ask a Question box, and we'll record it there. So just another couple seconds. And just click the submit button after you've entered your answer. And it looks like about everybody's in, so we can go ahead and share that answer.
Great. Perfect, thank you. All right. Okay, that's great. Good results there. So I'm going to go ahead and move into just a little bit about myself and then about SafeSend. So I have been with this company since 2013. I've been working with just about every department here, trying to just make sure that client firms as they come in are trained. I really like working with the workflows, putting workflows together that are unique to each firm. And I would rather talk about the history of SafeSend and what we're going to do today. So I'm going to move into the next slide, and that's going to be about SafeSend as a company, just real quick. So we started in 2008. Our initial products were TickTie Calculate for marking, which is an Adobe plugin, still available and in the suite that we'll be talking about later on. It's really there for marking work papers for preparation. We had a program called CPA SafeMail, which is now SafeSend Exchange for secure file transfers, and Signature Flow, which is also still here and now known as SafeSend Signatures for electronic signatures. In 2015, we kind of combined a lot of those things and introduced what is now our flagship product, SafeSend Returns. This was really a game changer that automated the entire process of assembling and delivering tax returns. This release made a pretty immediate impact on the tax and accounting industry and was honored with multiple technology innovation awards from CPA Practice Advisor. Over time, we have integrated our products into more of an all-encompassing suite called the SafeSend Suite. However, our commitment to innovation is really matched only by our dedication to customer satisfaction. We do value feedback from our clients above all else. Most of the features and enhancements are coming from firms. We talk to every firm after every tax season and make sure that we're on the right road. We're doing what they need us to do. Over the years, we've remained committed to empowering firms with automation tools that increase efficiency and support the industry's transition towards paperless workflow. Our products have become very popular because they offer straightforward yet powerful solutions to real-world problems. Now, you can see since 2016, these are the features and innovations that we've added just since then, and we have quite a few coming here within the next few weeks. On top of that, we are always just trying to stay on top and keep working towards making sure that things that you need done are done. You can see the growth from year to year in some of the different modules that we have. Here is the one for SafeSend Returns, which is for automating and delivering tax returns. So we delivered last year almost 1.98 million returns, and this year we're already at 1.4 million. Same thing here with organizers. So we have a module with organizers that we'll touch on a little bit later on, just to try to get more organizers back from more of your clients. Signatures is for e-signatures. This is just a way to get things signed. Anybody using the suite can send documents out for e-signature. It's just always available to everyone there. It's complementary with the program. Really what we are targeting when we're going through the process of kind of automating the tax engagement lifecycle as much as possible is gathering information from clients, and then on the back end, delivering returns. So we have ways of getting engagement letters signed, which can be done in batches or was one-offs. We have document request lists and secure file transfer. We can take the organizer coming out of your tax software. We can convert it to fillable form fields. So your clients can get from one email, sign their engagement letter, fill out a customized questionnaire if you want to include it, and fill out their organizer on the screen in front of them, and even drag source documents right back into it. And then those are all funneled into one firm-wide report for your team. We have TickTie Calculate in between those times to help prepare work papers, and then we have automated assembly and delivery, and that includes being able to group returns together by client, so that clients who are managing multiple returns can see everything in one dashboard. And K1 distribution is also just something that we have as well that is very easy to do. Your clients can distribute K1s in batches. It's one of the easiest things to do at any point in the program, and we can take a look at that in the demonstration if anybody would like to see it. From here, again, another kind of example of some of the features within the modules. Some of the features within the modules that help with that bookending of your tax year right in there. We do also have direct integration now with Lacert. We have it with UltraTax and GoSystem, and also CCH Access. CCH ProSystem FX is another tax software that we can read all the information from the returns. Those can be uploaded and sent through our system, but we have direct access with the other ones that I mentioned. Now, pull this in. This right here is really what we're trying to accomplish is provide one touch point for your staff, for your clients throughout the entire tax engagement lifecycle. So it's one platform that helps you stay more connected with your clients just through the entire year. So starting with digital signatures on engagement letters that can be sent out in batches, organizers that can be automatically converted to fillable forms so your client can do everything I said a moment ago just very quickly in one kind of fluid motion. Extension packages are automatically assembled for you so that you can have those delivered to your clients quickly and securely. We've also recently added into the suite SafeSend Exchange, which is our secure file transfer system. So your clients can share documents with your firm securely without ever needing to create an account. And that's throughout the entire suite. We don't have any usernames or passwords because you don't need those phone calls. And at the core of the suite is SafeSend Returns, the assembly and delivery system I've talked about. We want you to be able, using this system, to get returns from your tax software through our system and to your client in 3 to 4 minutes per return, so that they can then go through and review the return, sign their e-file forms, and we will even help them manage their payments. So we'll talk more about that as we go through this whole process today. Now, what we're going to go into next, apologize for having this off here, before we can erase kind of the client frustration that we're going to be looking at today, we need to understand where it stems from. So what is causing all of any frustration on your client side and even on your staff side, and at what point in the process are clients most frustrated? And at the root of this is electronic delivery, and that's going to lead us into our second polling question. So if you don't mind getting that launched.
Okay, this is our second question, and it's what % of tax return packages did your firm send digitally to clients this past filing season? And the options are 1 to 10%, 11 to 25%, 25 to 50%, 51 to 75%, 76 or more. I think that's it. We don't have an option for I didn't send any at all. I guess if you didn't send any, pick the first option.
There you go.
And then
I think there's a 0 in there.
Oh, it is 0 to 10. I put 1 to, you're right. Yeah, sorry, 0 to 10. Okay. So, yeah, so go ahead and pick that. We'll leave that open for a few more seconds. And then when you submit your answer, we'll be able to tally those up. Let's see what that looks like. Looks like we've got everybody in. So if we want to go ahead and close that and launch or just display the answer, it looks like about a third of the audience is in the 0 to 10, but almost as many over in the 76% or more. So that's kind of interesting.
Good. It should be growing every year, right? That's the idea. Is it's something that you really need to have in place. It is becoming vital to get things out electronically. What we'll look at next are kind of the challenges of electronic delivery, just as a whole. It's really, we'll start with email attachment challenges. So email attachments can be issues if that's what if you happen to be doing that with your client or you've done it in the past, you know that while it can be convenient on the firm side, it does have some drawbacks. Many clients will struggle with accessing encrypted PDF attachments due to password issues or viewing on mobile devices or viewing from browsers that are opening up those PDFs, but not with Adobe. So if you encrypt a PDF with Adobe, it has to be opened with Adobe, and that a lot of people might not know that and not be aware of that process. Client portals can be amazing. They're obviously client portals or even secure file exchange solutions on there. They're really supposed to solve those issues that I just mentioned in email attachments, but the reality is many clients struggle with having to create and remember logins for portals. So you're getting calls every year about resetting passwords or usernames. Those are things that should be removed. Industry experts are finally acknowledging that less than 35% of your clients consistently adopt your portal. It's just not working very well. For those clients who use it and are using it often, it's fantastic. It's a great way of getting information between you and your clients, of collaborating on that. But for a lot of your clients, they're just going in there once a year and they need help every single time. So there should be a way to kind of bypass that for them. So while well-intentioned, portals don't provide a seamless experience for the majority of your clients. Now, the next thing to look at there on the bottom, the third item down, is e-signing. So the e-sign component. When that came in, it really seemed to solve a lot of problems. It made it easier to get things signed. It does have some limitations. So electronic signature tools were a really good first step in the right direction, but they only solve a very narrow requirement, and that's getting those e-file authorizations signed and back quickly. But there are a lot of other components in the tax package: transmittals, vouchers, invoice attachments, and e-sign tools just often don't accommodate needs around corporate or entity returns at all, like for K-1 distribution. So while helpful for a single form, they don't provide a comprehensive paperless solution. It's hard to make sure that clients are going through and actually reviewing things if the e-sign platform that you're using just takes them right to where they need to sign. They haven't looked at anything. Now, from here, I'm going to go into something that a lot of firms run into, and it's called a circle of frustration here. So I'll just kind of walk you through something that seems to happen a lot. So with this, you can see, just make this a little bit bigger for myself. There we go. Your staff needs to send out a 1040 or send a 1040 client. They're 8879s, and you want to send them out electronically. If it's for a joint return, for most e-sign vendors, they don't allow for primary and spouse to use the same email address. And a lot of people share an email address. It's still happening a lot more than you would think, I would believe. That could be an issue, and that can really stall the process of getting things signed. Taxpayer and spouse share an email address, or you don't know both email addresses. Another issue that certainly comes up quite a bit. And then you've got to make contact with your client yet again for something that is just sort of a nuisance at that point for them. Once you do have email addresses in place, you then often have to drag and drop signature fields onto each signing form for the e-file forms. So every location you need to drag, and there are times when you might miss one. You want that automated so that there's no chance of missing. That can be automated, and it can be 100% accurate. Firm sends 8879s separately from the tax package rather than in the natural order, something I was talking about a little bit about a moment ago, where you are using your e-sign vendor to send off the 8879s, but you're not sending with that the rest of the return. So you've got to wait until they review it, or you're sending it off without knowing what they're really looking at and understanding. It's not as certainly not as nice as just sitting with them and going over their tax folder. E-sign requests often go into spam. This is an issue with most e-sign vendors, ours included. The email that that notifications are coming from is not typically the one that your clients are used to seeing. How do you avoid those going into spam? And we have some solutions that help with that, but that's something you always want to be aware of. Make sure your clients know what's happening. Set their expectations ahead of time so less slips past them. Taxpayer can't answer KBA questions, and no other option to sign is offered. One thing you want to keep in mind if you're looking for an e-sign vendor is what happens if they don't get through the knowledge-based authentication. And if you're not already aware, that is an IRS requirement for 1040 taxpayers, or they have to go through their own unique set of multiple choice questions just to prove who they are each year before they sign their e-file forms. If they can't answer, you want to make sure that you've checked with your e-sign vendor what happens. Do they just get a message saying, call the firm? Or are they locked out? Or do they get another chance? Do they have instructions about what's going on next? For the next one here, spouse doesn't realize they have to look for an email to e-sign separately because they both have to sign. They both have to sign from their own email notification for a joint return. And are they aware? Has it been communicated to them well enough that they need to each go through that process. Otherwise, you're waiting for somebody who doesn't know they need to do anything. Taxpayer e-signs, spouse prints. So the first person goes through, they get through the e-signing, great. The second person either decides they don't want to e-sign or they don't get past those knowledge-based authentication questions. One thing you want to check in as you move forward with e-signing is what happens with that process? Do you then have to have the first person go back through and manually sign, or can you capture that first signature without the second and then put them both together? At this point, if things aren't working for any of this, you are going to end up with a frustrated client. That's one huge cause of frustration with electronic delivery, is almost every one of these things could happen at any point. You want to make sure that you've thought about these ahead of time and you know what's going to happen at every point. So after that, typically you're mailing or emailing the tax package to print and wet sign those e-file forms, which is a pain for them. They shouldn't have to do it anymore, and they expect more at this point too. Now I'm going to very quickly go through something similar with portals. So with, oh, actually, I apologize. We have another poll. I'm so sorry.
Yes, we do. All right, this is our third polling question. There will be one more after this one. This question is, what percentage of 1040 8879's last busy season were sent for e-signature to your clients? 10% or less, 11 to 50%, 51 to 75%, or more than 75%, or none?
Got it on that one.
So pick the answer that's, yeah. Pick the answer that's most appropriate to you, and then click the submit button.
And again, I'm sorry I got so excited about the frustration part. Skipped right over that.
That's okay. No problem. Oh, these are interesting, coming in across the board. So, that's pretty good. 24. Looks like just another everybody in here. All right. I think we can close that out. And again, if you couldn't post your answer online, go ahead and post it in the Ask a Question and we'll record it there.
Great.
Okay. So yeah, pretty even.
All right, that makes a lot of sense. All right, thank you very much. Thank you everybody for answering those so quickly. I'm going to go through another one of those circles of frustration, as you got a little preview of that a moment ago. Using a portal. So, like e-signing, this can be incredibly helpful and it can be vital, but it also isn't quite enough. So here is we'll walk through another example of getting documents to clients. So when your staff sends a tax return and 8879s, and they're using the portal, your client receives an email notification. They click on a link to log in and download their files. They're very excited about this, and then they forgot their password. So now they're calling you or emailing your staff when they are already way too busy to be able to take the time to answer these questions about passwords and usernames. You're in the middle of tax season, so sometimes the staff will send that request off to reset the password to IT. Sometimes they'll try to do it themselves, and there's still a really good chance that your client is not going to be able to get back in even after the reset, sometimes a couple times. We hear this an awful lot. So they try to reset the password, or they try to reset their own password, doesn't work for whatever reason, not user error according to them. And then they just call and they say, why can't you just email this information to me? They're getting very frustrated, obviously. And so is your staff. So you spend 5 to 10 minutes, or somebody does, kind of putting that return together so that you can email it to them in a different way, adding watermarks, manually marking where things need to be signed, pulling out vouchers and estimated payments, doing everything that you shouldn't have to do at all. And then you send it out as an encrypted PDF. The client receives the PDF, but they want to be able to forward it on to their bank. And they can't do that without that password. It can be very tricky to kind of get those encrypted PDFs moved to a third party. And they should have the ability to do that. That's their information. That's their return. They just don't happen to know how to edit the PDF. So they send the email or call and say, we need an unencrypted file. We don't care that it's not protected. And that is just something you shouldn't do. But you're at a loss. And sometimes a lot of firms will end up emailing without any security on them, those documents that really are very sensitive and vital. All of that these are things that just happen a lot, unfortunately. So that is really kind of tracking what's going on with frustration. Where is it coming from with the electronic delivery? And we're going to now move into the next section, which is kind of navigating changes in technology, which there has been an incredible amount here. So we're gonna talk about a few things in here. First, historically, there's been a slow adoption of technology in the tax and accounting industry. Tax professionals are pragmatic, and concerns about introducing errors can be a challenging barrier to cross. So there's risk aversion, there's complexity and compliance with regulation considerations. The tax industry is heavily regulated, as you know, and tax laws are complex. Firms have been hesitant to adopt new tech due to concerns about compliance. Legacy tech stacks. This is another big one. We think traditional manual processes and longstanding legacy systems are kind of ingrained in your firm's workflow. You spent a lot of years putting this workflow together. It's working really well, and now new technology could really alter that quite a bit. Transitioning away from that workflow requires significant time, resources, and training. And that can be seen as costly. And it can be costly just depending on how it's happening. Lack of awareness on which technology is right for your firm. There's so much out there. And understanding the benefits of new technology and knowing which technology is the best fit, it can be difficult because of how much new software has become available now. It's hard to keep up with it all, honestly. Now, I'm going to keep going. I have a few more here for slow adoption because there are a lot of reasons to not move forward. There's always a reason to think of something to not change. Another is client expectations. Clients have varying levels of comfort with technology themselves. Firms are often hesitant to adopt new tech if they think that their clients aren't quite ready for it or are nowhere near it. Resistance to change, something that has to be brought up here. Like other industries, when a system is in place that you're comfortable using, it can be difficult to disrupt those established ways of working, regardless of the potential benefits. Investment, ROI concerns, implementing new technologies requires an investment, often an initial investment, and training. So in the software, the training, that can cost quite a bit upfront sometimes, and firms are often concerned about whether the benefits are going to outweigh the costs in the long run. What we need to do is kind of shift perspectives because it's happening around us anyway. Other people have shifted their perspectives. We need to just sort of catch up and make sure that we're at least with the game, if not ahead of it. So there has been a significant acceleration in digital transformation across industries, including tax and accounting. The pandemic highlighted the importance of remote work, digital collaboration, and the need for efficient technology-driven solutions. There's a need now for remote access, again, secure file sharing, and a more streamlined process overall. And this has led to a shift in perspective towards embracing technology as a necessity rather than an option. The pandemic underscored the importance of operational efficiency and business resilience. Firms that had already embraced technology found themselves better equipped to navigate the challenges posed by that pandemic, highlighting the value of technology in ensuring continuity, agility, and adaptability. Next thing we're going to talk about is client expectations, because those have shifted quite a bit too. So while appreciating the firm's pragmatism, they also care about convenience ease of use, and efficiency. That's a big deal. So there we go. There we are, sorry. So what you have on the screen right now is kind of what clients are responsible for, what you're giving them and what they need to do. So we need to make sure that the client process is simple. It's harder to meet with them now, and they expect automation and remote collaboration. They just think everything should be like shopping on Amazon. And sometimes there are things that we really need to have them do when they're going through their return. So firms will spend a lot of time making sure all of these documents here that come into a tax return are well organized and in the right order for clients so that they know what's going on with them. But if you're not sitting with them, how do you know that they've done any of this? They need to review, approve, sign. They need to pay you. They need to pay their vouchers and estimated payments. They need to distribute K-1s, and then you need to get paid, as I mentioned also. So all of these things go into the tax return. How do you know what clients are expecting out of this? This is often more of a responsibility than they want to take on, which seems strange, but it's really, things have changed. So client expectations, they really expect seamless digital collaboration at this point with firms, and they look for user-friendly, safe, secure file exchange and easy access to their financial information. They expect clear and timely communication regarding any tax matters, fees, and any changes to any regulations that may impact them. In an era of increasing data breaches and privacy concerns, clients seem to, well, they prioritize things that are simple and easy to use, but also data security and privacy. It's a really big deal to make sure you're getting all of that together. So you can see here from this next slide, what we've talked about are all these different ways of getting information from clients and to clients, and it's a mess. There are just too many options being offered to clients for returning important tax documents. Initially, these things were supposed to increase the probability that clients would return something. But now it's become too difficult to maintain and track what's been submitted and how. So there's a shoebox of information coming in from one way, then they're using the portal for another. It's all over the place. There needs to be a way to kind of cut back and streamline it and encourage clients to do something that is simple and more seamless. And that is going to bring us into the impact of automating tax processes to make that happen. So we're going to start here with the automated tax return delivery. And what this will do is an automated tax return delivery system is going to streamline your entire process of assembling client tax returns and delivering them to them quickly and seamlessly. By automating routine steps, it really enhances the efficiency and accuracy across that entire workflow. Integrates secure electronic or at least automated tax delivery that has signatures in it, electronic signatures. It integrates those capabilities directly to the automated process, allowing for an even simpler, more straightforward e-signing of e-file forms at the right time. But it goes beyond just e-file forms. Any document should be able to go through that and be signed. If you are ready to send a return and you haven't gotten your engagement letter signed, you should be able to throw that into the return. It should be required that your client sign to this or going through their e-file forms. Get those back and make that part of that process. From the client's perspective, that automated tax return, that automation really provides kind of a more curated experience for reviewing and e-signing their complete tax return packet. All the files are organized logically with clear instructions, walking them through each step. It really replicates what you would be doing if they came in and you're sitting with them going through the folder, but electronically. It eliminates common challenges of having to, your clients having to print, sign, and manually return those documents, which can be very difficult and time consuming. And they're just going to often put it off until it's almost too late. The entire submission process should be really self-contained, intuitive, saving your clients time, allowing them to do it from wherever they happen to be at their convenience. By automating the assembly, delivery, and e-sign process, that automation allows you guys, it maximizes your efficiency. The professional's time is freed up from doing some rote tasks so that they can focus on more high value work. And the risk of errors is minimized by eliminating manual touches. In essence, automation brings true digital automation to the final stages, that last mile of tax preparation, which have remained kind of stubbornly paper bound. Benefits for the firm. I've been mentioning a lot of these as we're going through, but just to kind of make sure that those are outlined here, one of the biggest firm benefits of automation is time savings over manual processes. It's huge. Reducing repetitive manual tasks like assembling returns, collating documents, printing, mailing, emailing, tracking all of that. Your staff's time is freed up to focus on other more rewarding aspects of their role. So they're happier to be there. They're not doing kind of mind-numbing tasks. Automation will streamline all the workflows around tax return preparation, assembly, and delivery, and improves overall productivity and efficiency across the entire year. It reduces the potential for costly errors and missing information. It can also reduce staff burnout because you can really cut your hours down when you guys are in busy season and your staff is working 80 hours. Cut it down. It could be 60 hours, which is still way too much, but at least it could help. Critically, it ensures full, secure, compliant delivery of sensitive tax documents, as well as documented audit trails for collaboration between firms and clients. It gives you peace of mind that compliance is met. Embracing automation is vital. By embracing automation, you can set yourself apart in the marketplace. You're offering a seamless, digitally driven service and experience that clients are increasingly just coming to expect. While many competitors still rely on inefficient manual paper-based processes, their clients will want to move along to something easier. And they don't have to just go down the street. They're not limited to just local CPAs anymore. They can go anywhere. Everything's online. So overall, time savings, efficiency gains, client satisfaction, compliance assurance, and competitive edge from well-placed automation provides a powerful value proposition for forward-thinking firms. It's really important. So part 6 here, streamlining the tax return process. How does all of this come into play here and come to be? How can you combine the wants and needs of the firm and the client? So we're going to go back to this tax return package requirements here, but looking at it on a different side. So from the firm side, all the things you need to do: assemble and deliver, gather return signer signatures, put signature boxes in place for clients, or mark where they need to sign. How do you get rid of reminders that you're sending out manually for on a quarterly basis, estimated payments, or for getting them to sign their e-file forms? This can all be automated. Distribution of K-1s can be automated, even in batches. And invoice payment can also really be more efficient, faster, and so you can get paid faster. That might hit home for some. And just removing errors. These are all things that you can wipe out any errors on. Everything will be compliant. Your staff will do this in much less time. Now, what we have here is this tax engagement lifecycle. I showed you a version of this earlier on when I was talking about SafeSend, but this is really just kind of what can you do with as few touch points as possible. You don't want your clients getting email notifications from 5 different vendors about 6 different things. You want it to be simple. You want it to be consistent. Your clients expect, again, ease, simplicity, sophistication. And that's something that you can provide. And one of the things that we do here with SafeSend is we automate all of that. We automate the tax return assembly. So we'll break each return out into all the sections you see on your screen so that you can get a return out in 3 to 4 minutes. And your client can just go through 3 steps of review, sign, pay, and they can get through what they need to do. You get the information back right away. So that can also happen not just with returns, which has really been the focus of what we've been talking about, but also organizers. Do this throughout the whole year. Make everything more efficient. You can make organizers fillable. There are a lot of new technology will allow for you to be able to do that. You do want to make sure it's somebody who's kind of thought through the whole process so that you're not using different tools and confusing your client in any way. But with our system, you can deliver organizers in batches. They will be fillable. You can add custom questions, dynamic, required, whatever you need there. And if you want to throw an engagement letter, you can put that in there too. And those can all go out at one time, as many as you want at a time. Or for a new client, you could send one out. It takes about 30 seconds. So these are the things, again, that we've looked at before, kind of I showed you the bookend diagram earlier on of what we have here. And what I'm going to go into here in a second is sort of just a bit of a demonstration so you can see kind of what clients go through. That's what we're going to focus on the demonstration. So I'm going to show you what it looks like for a client to get a tax return and go through that, get an organizer if we have time, and get documents securely, and even send documents back. It's a very simple process throughout, and it always looks like something that is familiar to them. So I'm going to go through with a quick demonstration of a few things we have here, and then we'll come back in here and we'll clear out the polling questions. But I'm going to go through a demonstration first of some of the things that we can do here with SafeSend. And let's go over to this right here. And I'm going to change one other thing here to make sure, see if I can get this part right. Now, hopefully everything is showing up and I'm not seeing. So sorry, here we go. Let me just check one thing here. Are you guys seeing my screen with the landing page for SafeSend returns on here? I'm not seeing the same thing. I apologize, Kat, Gail. I'm not able to tell, and I don't see the messaging that I had up here before the chatting. So 1 second. All right, so what I'm going to go through first is I'm going to open up a client email. And that's what should be showing on your screen right now, just an email inbox. And I'm going to go through a couple different things here. The first thing I'm going to look at is a tax return. So we'll go through what it looks like to get a tax return completed. And again, those should be sent out. It should take about 3 to 4 minutes from your tax software through our system, SafeSend Returns, into your client. And when a return has been delivered, this is what your client will see. They're going to get an email with their name in the subject line. This is really helpful if it's a joint return and your clients are sharing an email address, which is perfectly fine, but they need to go through their own email notification, and we want to make sure they know which email is for which of them when that's happening. Emails are always branded for your firm, and they all look very similar, as you'll see when I go through some other ones here in a moment. When your client clicks on this Let's Get Started button, they are then going to go to this site here. And from here, they're going to be able to start accessing the return. And they could have clicked on that from their phone, their tablet, PC, Mac, doesn't matter. They're going to now be able to start accessing securely, getting into their return. And instead of having them create an account, what we want them to do is just 2 things. They just need to provide first the last 4 of their SSN. They'll click this continue button, and then they're going to request an access code. So whenever anybody needs to get into their return or organizer extension or secure documents, they'll request a code. And when they do that, our system will generate and deliver to their phone or their email an access code. They will then get that code, like this one here. And once they click confirm, that's it. They're in their return securely. No passwords, no usernames. And what we will show them when they access their return first is on the left will be a summary of the things they care the most about. Refunds, overpayments, payments due, and estimated payments below that. In the middle of the screen are the 3 steps that we are going to take them through. And it will be in this order. It will be review, sign, pay. KWID distribution, again, is something that they can do through this process, and that would happen between signing and paying. Doesn't matter where they click. They're always going to go through that in the same order. So they will see a message from the firm, If you've included an invoice with that, they can see that next. There's even if you have online payment, they can even put a pay now button here for them. From there, they will move into the review. And for the review, we'll have them go through their filing instructions and transmittals and their tax return. And all they have to do, regardless of what kind of device they use to access this return, is just scroll through as much or as little as they want. They'll then go to signing. For signing, they can opt out if they would like to, and we'll give them instructions for what to do, how to download e-file forms, how to send them back to you. For the most part, it's pretty rare that anybody would select that when e-signing is an option. Most people will choose that. And I have a 1040 here so that you can see that process I mentioned earlier, that IRS requirement of knowledge-based authentication, or KBA. If this were an entity return, I'd already be on the e-file forms and applying signatures. For 1040s, we're going to have them enter their date of birth the first year they use the program. We'll have them check a box each year, just stating that they have reviewed the return, they're ready to sign, so you know what order they're going through things in. They can update their spouse's information here, and then they'll move into those KBA questions, which look a lot like what should be on your screen right now. We have figured this out. Through 9 tax seasons, millions of returns, we have never had a success rate lower than 97%. We will get your clients through this almost every single time. And we'll provide instructions and information if they are not successful. When they get through, it's just a matter of kind of being dragged through everywhere they need to apply their signature. So they can draw their signature, they can use ours, but we're going to kind of pull them through and make sure they sign in every location. So these signature fields are automatically placed by our system, and they're all required. So it's 100% accurate. You'll have every signature in every place it needs to be. Once they've completed that, for a joint return, we'll give them another piece of communication, just making sure they understand somebody else still needs to sign. And then they can move into the final step, which is payments. And for payments, we'll have them go through their tax payments first if they have any. So that you can see schedule for automatic withdrawal listed in here. They've also got vouchers here that they can click this pay button on, and we'll give them instructions for making those payments manually if they'd like, or they can select pay now. And that will take them right to that authority's website. We know where they need to go for that. From here, they'll go into estimated payments. Same process, but now we've got quarterly due dates, total amount due in that breakdown. And these can be updated throughout the year from the back end in reporting. So you can go into a client's return, add an estimated payment at any point, update an estimated payment at any point, and we will immediately notify your client and we'll update what they see. So they only have the correct information in here. We also have quarterly reminders going out automatically, telling them how many days they have left to make a payment and who they owe. And then they're done. This is what a return looks like here for Jack up here for 7 years. Anytime they need to, they can come into their return, they can manage payments, they can download documents, they can even securely forward any part of their return onto a third party. So they can take just their tax return and they can send it off to a bank or a mortgage lender to take some of that off of your plate because you're doing too much of that. Distribution of K1s, again, is also part of this process. But that right there is really what most clients go through most of the time. It's review, sign, pay, less of a reason for calls. Everything's right there for them. Now, on the I'm going to take a look at organizers here, and then I can go into, if we have time, I'll go into some reporting so you can see what it looks like to track that information. We have firm-wide reporting, so everybody can see everything that's happening to everybody who needs it. But before that, I'm going to go into an organizer so you can see what that looks like. So the email is very similar. Coming from the same place, very consistent, and all your client needs to do to start this process is click Let's Get Started.
Hey, Joe, just a minute.
Yeah.
Joe, we're getting some questions about people not being able to see the video. Have you got it on the same screen?
I do. Everything should be good to go. I think everything should be fine. I hope was it showing up a moment ago?
I'm not sure. As an audience member, I had to close my screen because I was having an issue with the sound coming from 2 places at once.
Okay. I did just stop sharing so I can retry it to see if that helps. And I will see if I can. I'm having an issue on my end because I can't see the dashboard anymore, and I don't know what happened there. So let me, yeah, that is what that's why I wasn't sure what was happening, because I lost it completely. So I'm going to try to get back in there for the global meet. It's just that.
Joe, we've lost you. Can you hear us? And audience members, we apologize. We're working on this.
So I seem to have been disconnected. Is everything back on?
We hear you. We don't see you yet.
Okay, I'm not quite sure what happened. That has not ever happened before. So you're not seeing. Okay. Yeah. Let me see. I am so sorry, everybody. I don't know what happened. Didn't do anything on my end.
Kat, can your tech team jump in here and help with this?
I apologize, everybody.
Yeah, stick with us.
Yes. We're so
we'll
close.
Resolve this.
If we can launch the last polling question, we can at least help them with that, because we only have a couple minutes left, or a few minutes left anyway. At least so that there's something they can do if that's an option.
Yeah, let's stand by for a minute and see if we can get this resolved.
Thank you. And Kat says refresh. So not sure what to refresh here. Okay, perfect. So I think everybody can hear me. The camera light is not on, but hopefully you guys can hear me.
We can definitely hear you.
Fantastic. Are the slides back up?
I'm checking on that now.
Thank you.
Still working on our technical difficulties. Give us another minute, please. Okay, it sounds like our slides are back. Our video is not.
Okay.
Do we have enough time to wrap this up?
Yeah. So I mean, we can move right into the last polling question. We were, which might actually be a good segue. Anyway, if you don't mind launching that final polling question, really the rest of what I was going to show, we are happy to show anybody and everybody who wants to see it. But if you have that ready to go.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to launch our fourth polling question, and that is, are you interested in learning more about SafeSend returns? And the answer options are yes or no, or no, I'm just here for the CPE, or I'm not the right person to discuss that with you. So go ahead and answer that if that's popping up on your screen. If it's not, you can post your answer in the Q&A and we'll record it there. Joe, I'll let you wrap up with whatever your concluding information is, and then I'll provide some information for how people can watch what they missed and get their CPE.
Great, leaving with an air of mystery here. So we do really appreciate everybody being able to attend today, and apologize for the technical difficulties at the end. I'm hoping that the content before that was helpful, and I just want to reiterate again, thank you for being able to attend this. And if you'd like more information, just let us know. We'd be happy to help you through anything, and make sure you have a chance to see everything that we were hoping to show.
All right. Thank you so much, Joe. And thank you, SafeSend, for making this webinar possible. This will appear on our website at cpapracticeadvisor.com/webinars later this afternoon. And we're going to try and pull together the demo video and add a link to that if we can make that happen. As a reminder, those of you who have attended for the full session will receive a link to your CPE certificate in the mail, your email. It'll be an email from CPA Practice Advisor later this afternoon. If you did not qualify for the certificate because you were posting your answers in the Q&A, we'll go ahead and issue one separately to you, but it'll probably take a day, so be patient on that. If you have any questions about CPE or about this event, please contact me directly at gperry, GPERRY, at cpapracticeadvisor.com. Also, if others are watching this event with you in the same room and they require CPE credit, you can email me their names and email addresses at gperry at cpapracticeadvisor.com. After the event, you'll be presented with a post-event survey evaluation form. So it's not a requirement, but we hope you'll share your feedback with us so that we can work on improving our webinar series. And thank you everyone again, and our audio will end now.